With all the hype around the 2021 Formula 1 season, I thought it would only be fitting to make a preview of this season before it kicks off in Bahrain, after the Australian Grand Prix organizers decided to postpone it due to the you-know-what virus that also caused many of the international F1 organizers in each country to either cancel or postpone their Grand Prix in 2020. That makes a majority of the new circuits for the original 2020 schedule new circuits for the 2021 race calendar. These new circuits include the newly designed Jeddah Street Circuit, Zandvoort, Imola, and Portimao, although the latter three aren't technically new circuits and Wait, what? I really thought there would be more new tracks to the calendar. Oh well. This season could be a season where some of the drivers can reach unprecedented levels of success, with Lewis Hamilton gunning for his 8th and record-breaking driver's title, along with breaking into the triple digits of wins and pole positions. It's also a make-or-break season for many of the drivers, where Valtteri Bottas has to prove his worth if he wants to keep his seat ahead of young hotshot George Russell, who impressed and outraced Bottas in last year's Sakir Grand Prix, which was won by Sergio Perez, who now has a chance to be Max Verstappen's ragdoll, or his closest teammate since Daniel Ricciardo. We'll get back to him in a sec. And Max Verstappen himself looks like he has his best chance to snatch the driver's crown from Lewis Hamilton. For Daniel Ricciardo, he's got to show his world championship capabilities against his now experienced teammate in Lando Norris, who himself has to show that he has what it takes to mix it up with a proven race winner and title contender. Norris's ex-teammate Carlos Sainz has to prove why Ferrari signed him over a 4-time world champion in Sebastian Vettel, while his teammate for the 2021 Formula 1 season, Charles Leclerc, has to lead the team out of its crisis. Sebastian Vettel himself now has to show why he's a 4-time world champion and the reason why he should stay in the sport after his dismal 2020 season at Ferrari against his less experienced teammate in Leclerc, and his teammate now, Lance Stroll, needs to show the world that Aston Martin chose to keep him over Sergio Perez for speed and not just his name. Moving over to their midfield rivals, Fernando Alonso makes his return with effectively the same team he won his back-to-back world championships with in the mid-2000s, that needs to show that he still has front-runner pace even after being out of the sport for the past 2 years, and needs to show he's a team player. And on the other side of the garage, Ocon needs to prove to the fans why Mercedes tip him to be a future world champion. Fellow Frenchman Pierre Gasly needs to make this season a solid one in order to get his name out there to teams higher up the grid, while rookie teammate Yuki Tsunoda needs to impress against his race-winning teammate. For fellow Formula 2 graduates Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin, this year is a year of development as drivers out of the spotlight. Williams' paid driver Nicholas Latifi needs to show that he actually exists, while George Russell needs to show Mercedes that they need to sign him. And the best way that he's going to do that is fight for and score points on a regular basis by finishing in the top 10. The F1 scoring system isn't changing for the season, with the top 10 finishers in each race getting points depending on their finishing position, and another point for getting the fastest lap of the race and finishing in the top 10. There are no points for getting pole position in qualifying like in junior formula, putting more emphasis on the race than in qualifying. And the driver that scores the most points from races over the season is the driver that wins the Drivers' Championship. The points a team scores for their chance at the Constructors' title come from the sum of points the cars that they run score over the season. The Constructors' title has been dominated by Mercedes for the past 7 years since the start of the turbo hybrid era. However, since 2017, rivals in the forms of Ferrari and Red Bull have caught up to Mercedes in terms of car performance and giving a chance for one of their drivers to be in the fight for the driver's title. From 2017 to 2019, Ferrari were the closest to Mercedes, with star driver Sebastian Vettel leading the charge for Ferrari's first drivers and constructors title since 2007 and 8 respectively, 1 decade later. However, over the course of each season, Hamilton and Mercedes were more consistent, allowing them to take those 2 double championships with ease. However, since 2019, Vettel and Ferrari have been on a downward spiral, with the latter falling further and further away from the performance of the Mercedes and the other teams, causing them to fall from 2nd to 6th in the Constructors' Championship in 1 year, where they look to find their form in this upcoming season by realistically fighting in the midfield for P3. The other rival, Red Bull, has their best chance at the Constructors' title since 2013 with the signing of the experienced Sergio Perez, backing up Max Verstappen, who's going to lead the charge for both titles. Behind Mercedes and Red Bull's fight at the front, McLaren, Aston Martin, Alpine, AlphaTauri, and the aforementioned Ferrari are fighting for P3 or the unofficial best of the rest position, with McLaren fighting for P3 in the championship and looking to continue their great form with star signing of Daniel Ricciardo. However, arguably the best of the rest car was made by Racing Point, now Aston Martin, who have just been dealt bad luck and a penalty to finish behind McLaren in P4. Renault, now Alpine, are looking to break into the fight for P3 and 4 with Fernando Alonso, highly regarded for outperforming the machinery given to him. Ferrari themselves have one of the best driver lineups on the grid in Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, the former winning 2 podiums in sub-average machinery, and the latter of which led McLaren to P3 in the championship last year. AlphaTauri look like they're on the up as well, with a shock win at Monza last year giving them the momentum they need to fight with the other 4 teams consistently. Then there's a noticeable gap to the last 3 teams in the championship called the backmarkers. With new investment and motivation from owners Dorilton Capital, Williams have decided to change their strategy to building the car, focusing on developing a car that works very well only at certain tracks rather than just making a car that works decently at every circuit, giving them a higher likelihood to score points at certain Grand Prix. Alfa Romeo, on the other hand, will most likely not make as much of a leap in performance, just making an evolution of the car design philosophy from last year, causing them to most likely be overtaken by Williams in the constructor standings by the end of the season. And so will Haas, running 2 rookie drivers and strapped for cash. The team have literally come out and said that they won't be developing their car throughout the season, leaving their drivers out to dry in terms of car performance and likely not to score points. Anyways, that was your 2021 Formula 1 preview. If you are hyped for this season like I am, be sure to like this video, and if you want to hype someone else about it, be sure to share this video, and if you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe. And I'll see you whenever I'll see you. Peace!